Hi, welcome back to Ace Attorney. It's edition.
Yeah, this guy who I didn't say anything weird about last time.
No, nothing at all. My ancestors were praised.
Oh yeah, I forgot I'm doing his voice.
I think you were. I've noticed that the game has gotten slightly louder, so I'm going to slightly lower the fuck out of it. There we go. It's like by a very marginal amount. That object you set down there, is it something of importance to you?
It's a name placard. This one here belonged to my grandfather, Abraham Addison. He had it custom made during his distinguished political career. It's special because it was crafted from the finest Italian plastic.
What does that even mean? Is that like Gucci bagged?
I guess.
I wasn't aware the Italians were famous for their fine plastic.
You can touch it if you want.
No, I'm fine.
Don't say that line when you're making that face, man. Very well, I'll just continue with my testimony. My ancestor was praised as a benevolent ruler, but he was also an eminent politician.
Eminent. It has M in it.
Well...
So I take it the relationship with the Fae clan was a close one.
A smooth and open line of communication with my entire electorate. That is the Paul Addison way.
Huh? Oh, sorry. I was asking about your ancestor.
Whether it's about me or my ancestor, feel free to ask me anything you'd like. Transparency in government, that's the Paul Addison way.
The things he's saying sound nice.
Yeah, like, just like, Senator Armstrong.
No.
The things they say both make sense. Just don't think about it. Like Thanos.
Like this, transparency, that's great. There's no double speak here. With Senator Armstrong, there's a lot of double speak.
I honestly, I don't think there is. I think he's just like, he's like.
No, he might just be blatantly crazy.
He's like, America sucks, and you're like, yeah, I agree. And then he's like, so instead, we should have rule of strength. And you're like, no, the wrong way to look at it.
More like dodging questions. That's the Paul Addison way. Laugh track. Thanks. I'll be sure to ask when I have something you'll actually answer.
As I was saying, the Addison family protected the Fey spirit mediums back then.
Spirit mediums were targets of discrimination.
Yes, some people even treated them like they were monsters. The transformation the mediums underwent when channeling spirits frightened the locals. And then there were those who tried to use them.
You mean they sought to control the channeling powers of the mediums?
Discriminating against a minority is absolutely despicable. A vote for me is a vote to end discrimination. I vow to root it out wherever it may be.
Again, that's another good line.
Yeah, is he gonna deliver on it? Hell no. That is my promise to you.
He promised, though.
He's totally ignoring your questions. It's like you're a moderator at a political debate.
Yeah, and he only cares about his talking points. What year did this game come out? Oh,
2026,
no.
2017.
Oh, no.
To be fair, it was probably in translation before the 2016 election, I think.
It was, but the 2016 election was the election. Meanwhile, they were talking as far back as 2014.
I think that if like this were influenced by 2016 election, there would be a line where he goes wrong, and I don't think there is. But maybe I'll be proven wrong.
Did I tell you about reading or / listening to the entire Alex Rider book series rather recently?
You mentioned that you have been reading it.
Yeah, and like in the most recent one that is on Audible, it's not technically the most recent one. There's one more that hasn't been sent to Audible yet. Mm-hmm. The guy literally says the line, "Make Britain great again." There's a guy who says that.
I mean, it's not even like a Trump original, right? Like, the reason Senator Armstrong says it is because it was what Reagan campaigned on.
It is, the way it was said was very clearly. He was like in a pathetic, like, he got caught. It's like, but I just wanted to make Britain great again.
Ooh. As you wish. Now then, as for the Crystal of Ami Faye.
Fire Emblem Heroes, as you wish.
You see, despite negative press, Kofifi.
There's the Crystal. Is it charged? You said she had it made, so then it was made in Japan.
That's right. They say she hired a famous craftsman to make it. And they say it's quite valuable, too.
And you were going to take such a priceless family heirloom and just give it to your patron.
Fire Emblem Heroes. That's so typical of you ignorant common types. Making difficult decisions when the chips are down is what being a politician is all about.
But only when it's in service of your own political career, you mean?
The crystal is a testament to my ancestors' remarkable achievements. And furthermore...
I am a descendant. So tell me, Mr. Addison Wimperson, are you famous in Korean Village? Well,
you could say that, but I find my popularity to be rather bemusing.
Bemusing.
Yes, my campaign posters keep going missing as soon as I put them up. My avid supporters and female fans are likely taking them home to hang in their bedroom.
I guess ignorance really is bliss.
All this only proves my fine lineage. I mean, if the poster was like what I was describing yesterday, I could see that, actually. I said yesterday. It wasn't yesterday. This isn't my line.
Oh, yeah, it is my line. I'm sorry, but is any of this relevant to the issue of the relic's rightful owner?
Have you never heard of Kingcraft?
Kingcraft. Is this a Minecraft reference?
It's the art of ruling as a king. My father drilled it into my head from a young age.
Someone from 13th century England is just like rolling in their grave.
And one of its precepts states, ruin awaits a ruler who responds to every single issue posed by the masses.
Well, that answered my question about what he meant by king of this nation. Progress.
Apollo, who is this Ami Faye anyway?
I believe she was the founder of the Korean channeling technique.
The plaintiff claimed she had the crystal made for his ancestor. That would mean it was made in Japan, right?
Yeah, I suppose it would. Do we have the thing that says it wasn't literally made here?
Check your evidence.
It would be the... not that. The email correspondence? No. I forget. Oh, it's on the flash stick. Right. No, it's not. Mitama motif from the Korean founding period. I guess that would kind of settle it. But that's just what was holding the orb.
But no, if you look, the orb is on the left and it has the symbol.
Oh, it does have the symbol. Look at that. All right, well there you go. Yeah, that's kind of a problem. You stated that Ame Faye had the crystal made for your ancestor, huh? So am I to assume it was made in Japan?
That's right. The craftsmanship is unbeatable.
Well, that's strange. I don't see how your so-called crystal could have been made there.
What are you talking about?
It's quite obvious if you take a closer look at this. Take a look at this distinctive design here. According to Dr. Buff, it's a Mitama motif dating back to the early days of the Kingdom of Kurain.
The Kingdom of Kurain, Can you base this on?
Here. This piece of evidence, Your Honor. These are the doctor's research notes on the Founder Orb. This is the box in which the orb was originally stored. It features the same pattern as the one found on the orb.
They do look like the same pattern.
Therefore, I assert that the disputed item must have been made in the Kingdom of Kurain.
Ah! Yeah, my placard!
Alright, that face where he's looking around like...
Yeah, that one makes it, yeah. The Kurain channeling technique originated in the Kingdom of Kurain, and Ami Faye is known to have traveled there to train. With that in mind, what's to say she didn't bring that pattern back with her?
But since this is clearly a Kurainese design, not even you can deny the possibility that it was made there, in the Kingdom of Kurain.
Anything's possible to some extent. That doesn't make it true. So you can't conclude that the orb is from Kurain based solely on that pattern.
Our conclusion is that we can't conclude anything.
If it were that simple, I could just as easily say it's Japanese.
Alright, Phoenix, now prove to me where Japan is.
It's over here by, below Oregon.
I have to agree with Mr. Wright. The pattern alone proves nothing. But that also means there's no basis to claim that the item is in dispute was made in Japan either. At this rate, we're going nowhere fast.
He's right, we're just spinning our wheels here.
I wonder if we have any evidence that could break this stalemate.
Huh. Evidence that could break this stalemate, huh? Well, that exists. The defense would like to present a piece of evidence to the court. A piece that will finally break this stalemate.
Oh? Well, you've sure piqued my interest. Let's see what you've got.
Alright. I will now prove that this is, in fact, the Founder's Orb. Because it says Founder's Orb on this piece of evidence. Case closed. Shit!
Because my dad played the guitar once.
As you can see, Makoto is actually the ultimate despair. It says so right here.
As you can see right here, Kokichi could have in fact dragged a body up the wall with a rope.
Despite being a small boy.
Because if you use the leverage of a fucking wall, you're on top of the thing and you have a rope and you're pulling it, you can use the traction and you can do it.
That said, pulling something up is really difficult, but I guess he could maybe do it. Kokichi allowed himself to get crushed in a fucking... like,
spoilers for V3, by the way. The reason why I always thought he was going to tamper with all the crime scenes, by the way, it's because fucking Byakuya did that shit.
Mm-hmm. And he's like the only one.
Yeah. Nagito does a little.
Truly an original shitbag.
I mean, Byakuya at least has, like, a character arc. Not really, like, a focused on one.
I like him, actually, as a character. I think he's fun. It's just, like, he needed more shit thrown at him in the beginning.
Yeah, the thing is, like, if you see how he acts in, like, DR2 and in the anime, like, he actually is like, I don't only care about myself anymore, which is...
Well, of course he doesn't have to. He killed all the competition, so I can just, like, oh no, I'm actually a good person now, despite the fact that I killed, like, 20 relatives.
Listen, we don't bring up people's old tweets to cancel them here, okay?
It's the same fucking debate as Akechi. Kills a bunch of people, but he is hot, so it's okay.
I don't think that Byakuya is hot.
Well, apparently, Aoi thought he was.
It's something that's stupid, by the way, that she...
Well, he calls it the crystal orb here.
I mean, that's calling it both the crystal and an orb, so that doesn't even...
Yeah. So what do they call it? It's Omniphase, like, whatever?
The crystal of Omniphase.
Ah, what a piece of shit. I wrote to be conclusive. If only I had the urn on us, but we don't. That don't really help.
Nah, I don't think it would. Opa Rinko style. Maybe it's your attorney's badge.
That's what it has to be. Wouldn't it be funny if the orb was just like in the background in one of these photos or something? The founder offers divine protection. The favor of the orb is bestowed. This is all talk. Like, this is what he was researching, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this, like, alone tells you that he was looking into the founder's orb.
Yeah, I mean, he thought it was the founder's orb, but we're trying to prove that he's correct.
That's what the research notes go on. And it is what opened the thing, but I guess that is, again, unattached.
Do you want a hint?
Not yet.
Okay.
The hint is, you're wrong. You're supposed to back out of it.
I think I'm gonna give you the hint, okay?
Is the Mitsuma also on the orb?
Well,
it is, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean...
but that doesn't... I mean, they just went over that.
Is that blood on it?
I don't think so.
Just like a little red bit right there.
I can't see your cursor.
Oh. Can't click.
I think if there was blood, they would have been like, oh shit, there's blood.
It's like a really small amount.
Gotcha.
It's probably rust.
So the hint is, you're wrong and you're supposed to back out of this.
Ow.
Yeah.
Well, I can't.
You can present your attorney's badge.
I guess I can.
And just how does that piece of evidence prove that the relic is the Founder's Orb?
It doesn't, does it?
Not by any means I can fathom. Sorry, Apollo, but I have to agree with the boss on this.
Me too, actually.
Me three, defense.
Yikes.
Time to think that one over again, Mr. Justice.
Yeah, Your Honor. Evidence that could break this stalemate. There doesn't seem to be anything we can use, at least not at this point.
Well, unless we can find something, this trial won't be going anywhere.
Oh my god, look at that face.
That's much better.
What's his deal?
I have a suggestion. Why don't we consider this from a different angle?
I'm listening.
What if the Defiant Dragons really were authorized to take possession of the relic?
I'm afraid I don't know where you're going with this, Mr. Wright.
Consider the orb transfer agreement, which states, I agree to hand over the Founder's Orb to the Defiant Dragons if I will come to no harm. What if, as the last part suggests, this was written under duress? That would render the agreement null and void.
What are you suggesting, Mr. Wright?
While you were on your little cave expedition, I was investigating Dr. Buff's accident. And there was something you overlooked, Mr. Justice, namely, that his accident might have actually been murder.
What? Murder? Never.
In an Ace Attorney game?
I swear to God in heaven above, I saw Somi from Fire Emblem Engage next to Athena's shoe.
What?
Just on the ground, I saw, like, Somi peeking out. It was just, like, the colors.
Gotcha.
Mr. Wright, you do realize such statements are not to be made lightly. Are you suggesting the doctor was murdered by the Defiant Dragons?
Yes, but follow me on this for a sec. The books that came tumbling down were from the archaeology shelf. However, among that mountain of books was a single volume on psychology. What's more, there was some blood on it.
And you feel this is important because...
The books that came tumbling down were from the top shelf, the archaeology books. We know this because the doctor's books were meticulously organized by subjects. Archaeology took up the entire shelf, so that psychology book is completely out of place.
What, was he looking up the psychology on, like, turning it... What? Come to think of it, the shelves were arranged quite carefully.
It's also worth noting that psychology books only take up a tiny part of the bottom shelf. You might wonder why a book on psychology was found amid the pile of archaeology books, but I believe I can explain what that single out-of-place book was doing there. The doctor was struck from behind while selecting a psychology book from the shelf.
And that's when the blood got on the book?
Precisely. And to make it look like an accident, he was buried under a mountain of archaeology books.
Wait a second. This is all just speculation, right? Or do you have proof that it was murder?
Of course I do.
You do?
On a hunch, I had Detective Skye examine the doctor's head wound. She found that he'd been struck by the corner of some object or another.
Wait, what?
A wound like that couldn't have resulted from a fall to the floor, you know.
Unless the book was, like, on its spine and he fell and he hit his head on it.
And then the book magically moved to where it was. Good thinking, Apollo.
Yeah. Well, the impact of his body sent it.
Do you understand what this means, Mr. Justice? The wound makes it crystal clear that Dr. Bob was murdered. Get it, Crystal? Because we're talking about a crystal?
What?
Well, that was unexpected.
In a Phoenix Wright game?
Who'd have thought we'd break out of the stalemate like this? He pulled the ladder right out from under us, like the way that guy died.
Still, if he thinks that's enough to make me back down, then he's got another thing coming. Even if the cause of death was murder, what makes you think it was the Defiant Dragons? You should know better than to hurl baseless accusations. Hey.
Did you forget who you were up against, Mr. Justice?
Yeah, that's a good point. Huh.
You didn't actually think I'd come to court without witnesses and evidence, did you?
You've done it once before, twice before, a couple times, actually. Well, who are you talking about?
I would like to request further testimony from the plaintiff. Specifically, I would like the court to hear how he saw one of the rebels leaving the crime scene.
He saw what?
He can prove it was murder. That's the end of our client's right to the orb. Did he have this up his sleeve the whole time?
How can Mr. Wright do this to us? He was just waiting to spring this trap.
Like FNAF 3.
Hunter X Hunter. With X being spelled with an E.
This trial's taking yet another unexpected turn. Phoenix Wright did something kind of cool. I guess he can only do that when he's beating up children. But I must mention, Mr. Wright, that you have yet to identify the murder weapon.
The object used to commit the murder was not located at the scene of the crime. The murderer likely disposed of it elsewhere. That thing that's never happened in any other trial.
Yeah, once or twice it's happened.
Well, I never thought we'd deliberate the issue of a murder at a civil trial. All right, Mr. Addison Wimperson, your testimony, if you please.
Where'd he go? He was there the whole time.
I had to go pose for a photo. Prepare to be dazzled. Dazzled by charismatic oration forged in the crucible of campaign battles.
Huh. I had to go to the bathroom and actually use it, unlike another simpleton who would just shit themselves in the courtroom.
Apollo's like, hey, don't talk about my fucking adopted brother like that, man.
He's had that problem since he was a kid.
That evening, I was walking alone, lost in thought. I passed by the doctor's house, and that's when I saw Mr. Arable. He was running out the front door. It was around 10 at night. Surely that must have been him fleeing the scene of his crime. A vote for me is a vote to end such violence. That is my promise to you.
So the plaintiff saw a possible suspect fleeing from the doctor's residence. And it was within the window of the estimated time of death?
That's horrible. What in the world were you doing there? Coffee.
It seems Mr. Arable was loitering about Crane Village that day. There's evidence he was in the doctor's study as well. Isn't that right, Mr. Justice?
You mean the suitcase?
Exactly. He must have been in quite the rush to leave that behind. Oh, and by the way, Your Honor, Mr. Arable just so happens to be sitting in the gallery today.
Yeah.
See? That's him trying to escape as we speak.
Bailiff! Don't let that man get away!
Why, you backstabber? Why are you doing this to me?
Alright, the counsel/defense may question the plaintiff/witness once more. Please proceed, Mr. Justice.
Was that Allie laughing in the background?
It was.
Nice. Why were you taking a walk?
Society is inundated with serious problems that must be solved, and as a politician, I'm always on the job, thinking hard about possible solutions, even on my walks.
Thanks for the non-answer, I guess.
While we live out our comfy lives, there are starving children who suffer in the back alleys of our major cities. It's not in me to ignore such suffering. A vote for me is a vote to end hunger, and for world peace.
Oh, he's got my vote. This guy's got his head on right. He's got all the good issues on the forefront of his brain. What's wrong with him? Sure, he looks like he comes early, but that's fine. So do I.
Yes, Mr. Sorry, Judge. Can you have the bailiff get rid of that guy from the gallery who said that shit? Anyways, Mr. Addison Wimperson, they are all well aware of your outstanding character. Now, please continue with your testimony. I can practically hear my poll numbers surging.
It's not
Now,
the only thing.
On with my speech. After all, the voting public must be informed of the magnificence that is me.
I hope the more this progresses, the more he snaps his stupid placard. Where exactly were you when you saw Mr. Arable?
Right here, under this tree. I saw him dashing out of Dr. Buff's front door.
And he didn't notice you.
No, I was hidden by the tree.
Is it really all that important to know where the plaintiff saw Mr. Arable?
Yes, yes it is. I believe it matters a lot. I ask that it please be added to the witness's testimony.
Hold it!
What were you doing under that tree?
A lack of lateral thinking. That is a politician's downfall.
What?
That is why, if I'm elected, I promise to think outside the box.
The question was, what were you doing under the tree, Mr. Addison Wimperson?
I suppose I can't expect a plebeian such as yourself to understand my grand design.
Fire Emblem Heroes. I can't expect a plebeian such as yourself to understand. Oh yeah? Try me, O Lord of Plebs.
Mr. Addison Wimperson, I believe the court is well aware of your grand political vision. Now, let's have the rest of your testimony, if you please.
The Trump trial. Trump, I believe the court is very well aware of your grand political visions. Now, do you wanna explain like what you've done for the past 4.5 years to us?
No, I'm good. I can hardly wait for the upcoming election. It would have been like, here's the thing, I could have done a Trump voice for this guy. It would have stopped being funny on line 3.
No, I think it's way funnier that he is just like some no-name political douchebag.
Mm-hmm.
Hold it!
Did you notice anything unusual?
Yes, his behavior was incredibly suspicious. His eyes were darting all around as he ran off in total panic. As soon as I saw that, I knew he had done something, and it probably wasn't good.
Despite that, you still didn't report it to the police?
Who would have thought he had killed Dr. Buff? Not me. That's why I didn't report him.
So the witness didn't notify the police. Is that an important statement?
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's important. I requested the witness add to the testimony.
Fire Emblem Heroes. Sure, why not? Me when I'm bored waiting for the train, and I haven't. I'm looking.
When's
for
the
my
last
app.
time you played Fire Emblem Heroes?
A year or two ago. I don't know.
It's more like Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
So this is weird to me.
Why is that?
Because he ran out of the building where he knew, according to the flash stick, that he had the orb.
Yeah, but, I mean, he didn't see him, like, stealing it or anything.
I guess not.
Hold it!
But at the time he didn't know the doctor was dead, is that correct?
It's true that I've been known as a prodigy from a very young age.
This is literally talking to Byakuya from, like, Trial 2.
Yeah. I graduated high school and college with exceptional grades, as class president. I reformed stale old school traditions. My exploits were even covered in local papers. But as exceptional as I am, I can't possibly be expected to know everything at all times.
This isn't working. He keeps bending the question to serve his own need.
Hang in there, Apollo. Mr. Addison Wimperson, I believe the court is well aware of your exceptional nature. Now, would you please continue with your testimony?
I could just hear Phoenix grinding his fingernails into the oak resin.
Yeah. I have the upcoming election in the bag.
Like, it's just... I don't know if that came through on the mic. Probably not.
Nah.
So how do you actually intend to end such violence?
Elite politicians such as myself never reveal their strategies. Did you really think I would divulge such sensitive information to the likes of you?
I just want a political candidate who just goes, "Hi, I've made a website that lists everything I want to do for the next 4 years in a category timeline."
Oh, I mean, if you checked like the Biden campaign site during the election, it listed a lot of promising things that he wanted to do. Very few of them have been done, but
Yeah.
they were sure there.
I feel like if you're the president for that time, it's just like, that's when you just like overwhelm with the amount of things that you want to do. So that like
But the thing is what you want to do is you want to drip feed so that the people still need to re-elect you.
Yeah. It's why Obama did like nothing for 4 years, and then like the other last 4 years, that's when he did Obamacare and all the rest of it.
That's the thing, is like more shit gets passed when there isn't a
Re-election to worry
a majority. Like when there isn't a majority, right? So like if you think about how there was a much better majority before the midterms, like between 2020 2021 versus now, where the voting power of Dems in Congress is worse. More things are happening because they don't want to set a standard for future like electric. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Bleh. Surely you have some sort of campaign platform you're running on. That's a lot of ellipses.
No comment.
Clearly he has, his is a platform told by an idiot full of sound and fury signifying nothing. Said he saw dats from under the tree. If that's true, then...
Did you figure something out?
Yeah, I think he's hiding something. Let's take another look at the evidence, Athena. Alright. Let's see if there's anything weird about... Is there like a different entrance? I mean, there's the fact that he's literally right next to the fucking window.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
So wouldn't you have heard the crash and seen all that?
Yeah, you'd think so, right? That said, you wouldn't present that here because you're not disproving... I mean, maybe you disprove that he's under the tree. But at the very least, the map doesn't prove that right now. It does prove it on a different line.
So probably don't worry about this, then. Here, because he's able to see inside?
Yeah, because presumably he would have an idea that Dr. Buff was dead.
Because literally how the study diagram looks.
Objection!
Yeah. Mr. Addison Whipperson, rather than Mr. Arable. Well, then there's something else that should have had your undivided attention.
Like what? Oh, yes, of course. A politician must also keep his finger on the electorate's pulse and focus on the nation's...
Sorry, you're way off.
I am.
Would you care to explain, Mr. Justice?
The witness saw Mr. Arable from his position here. Then he should have also been able to see the doctor's body. After all, it was right next to a huge window.
Well, I believe you have a point there.
With the body that clearly visible to the witness, it's unthinkable that he wouldn't have reported it to the police.
Will the witness care to respond?
Did he fall asleep?
Mr. Addison Whipperson? Mr. Addison Wimperson!
There are many sides to any issue.
What did I ever do to deserve this? In any case, I'd like the court to acknowledge the inconsistency in the witness's testimony. Mr. Addison Wimperson, did you really see Mr. Arable?
Yes.
He was doing the face to fall asleep again. Where do you think you're going?
Oh, I thought I'd return to my seat, seeing as I had already answered the question.
This isn't some small whole town debate. So just stay right there until I say we're through.
I'll have to run that by my campaign manager before I...
Glare. 100% accuracy paralysis. Actually, it's only 75% in Gen 3.
Mr. Addison Wimperson, I think it's time for you to come clean. Huh?
So then, does this mean he didn't see Mr. Arable?
As your lawyer, Mr. Addison Wimperson, I advise you divulge that matter we discussed. Silence is no longer an option. Are you sure about this? I'm in the midst of running for office. I can't afford to let any strange rumors get out. Don't worry, you won't suffer any blowback for what you're about to reveal.
Blowback? That's what I like the sound of that, Mr. Wright.
Not to worry, Your Honor. Nothing untoward will come of this, I promise. Now then, Mr. Justice. Remember how it was an anonymous caller that reported the doctor's death?
Come to think of it. Emma, who was the first one to discover the body?
About that, whoever it was, it seems they wanted to remain anonymous.
What?
It happens now and then. Some people would rather not get involved with the police.
Wait, you're not saying that...
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. The anonymous source who contacted the police after discovering the body was... my client, Mr. Paul Addison Wimperson.
What? You don't say.
So, you see, he played his part as a concerned citizen, quite admirably, if I may say so. Isn't that right? Yes, indeed. In our society today, there are too many who choose indifference over righteous action. But I don't number among them. That's why I did my duty as a concerned citizen. One might call me the model citizen, one worthy of standing above the rest.
What a real standard bearer he is, reporting it anonymously.
Oh, and by the way, Mr. Justice. Wasn't there someone else at the scene of the crime when my client discovered the body?
Oh, you mean Mr. Arable? You would have been leaving the doctor's house right around then. Oh, wait, that means...
Yes, it does. In short, what my client witnessed was Mr. Arable fleeing the scene of a heinous murder.
Yeah!
And that's not all, based on what we've heard so far. Mr. Arable looked exceedingly suspicious, and that's putting it mildly. We already know the Defiant Dragons threatened the Doctor with bodily harm. We don't actually know that. And now that they've killed him, the so-called orb transfer agreement is null and void. Apollo, if we don't come up with some sort of counter-argument...
And what sort of evidence do you have? Can you actually prove that it was Mr. Arable who killed the doctor?
That move had desperate written all over it.
That's all I've got, so I'm going with it. He's probably bluffing too.
Evidence? What? No. I suppose it's true that I don't have any.
Oh no, he actually admitted it. I knew it.
But I do have another witness.
You do?
You should know I always come fully prepared, Mr. Justice.
What's this fully prepared bullshit?
and my new witness will provide testimony proving Mr. Arable's guilt.
Ugh.
A new witness? I wonder who it could be.
Is it gonna be the helicopter?
Very well. Bailiff, please summon a new witness. In the meantime, the court will take a brief recess. We'll like both sides use this time to prepare accordingly, understand?
So it's either the helicopter, Pearly, or I don't know, who else was there? Edgeworth was apparently there at one point. Wow. I knew Mr. Wright would put up a tough fight, but...
Yeah, just when I thought we had him, he turned the tables on us. He really is the turnabout terror.
You can't let him blindside us again. Looks like they've got me again. 3 times in 1 year. That's a new record. Dats, please. No more new records or bad puns while you're at it. It's hard enough trying to help you as is. Roger that. I'll be more careful next time.
That's is what Mr. Wright said true. Did you really pay a visit to Dr. Buff that night?
Sure did. Can't remember the exact time, though. All I know is he wouldn't hand over the orb. Someone put it in his head that we're rebels and we are dangerous. That's why he threw me out. So the doctor was still alive when Dad saw him. So the doctor was still alive when Dad saw him.
We'll still have to prove it, though. Better brace yourself, son. The next witness's testimony can make or break this case.
Yeah, I know. Hey, where's Trucy?
She went to go see her dad.
Maybe she's still mad.
More like worried. Worried that this trial will create a rift between you two. And then you might then leave the agency.
Huh. She has an active imagination. Good, mate. Trial will be resuming shortly. Well, let's go see what new testimony awaits us.
Is that the guy who talked about how...
Yeah, it's me.
That was the bailiff? Oh my god. That's so unprofessional.
Yeah, you knew. I caught bats and rats and cats and dogs in this courtroom.
Dats, you're a rebel, right? Kill him.
I'm not the killing type of rebel.
Dirk? No.
Alright, I guess I could do it.
Alright, court is now back in session. Mr. Wright, you said you had a witness?
Your Honor, I would like to call the lone survivor of the doctor's murder to the stand.
Wait, he can't mean that Sarge is here? You mean Dr. Buff's reclusive son? How'd you get him to cooperate?
Nothing a little persuasion couldn't handle. The poor child only agreed to help if it meant catching the killer.
Getting a kid like that to overcome his fear. Now that's impressive.
This must be really important testimony for the kid to come out in public like this.
He's still gonna be a helicopter. Don't even try.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Please call your witness to the stand.
No, obviously. I mean, come on. You're just gonna do the leg shot and then just, like, nothing.
Oh, my. Dr. Buff, at your service, sir.
He's here as the drone. Really?
Mr. Wright, what exactly is the meaning of this? First the parrot, now a helicopter.
Past trauma has rendered it impossible for the witness to venture into public. Leaving home was hard enough, and it seems leaving the witness lobby was just too much. But I would still like to continue with testimony delivered via this drone.
I understand it must be terrible to lose one's father like that. But testimony via remote-controlled toy? Well, let's take things for a spin and see how it goes.
Just who's piloting this trial anyway?
I mean, they did it over a fucking walkie-talkie with, fucking the killer, so...
Well, that's because nobody wanted to kill her in the room.
I mean, that's true. The judge sure warmed up to the idea fast.
I think the phrase you're looking for is gave up.
You disappoint me, Corporal Justice. I think I once called you a comrade. Bailiff! Ah! And the man who killed Papa, that's full on treason, soldier. I hereby demote you back to private.
Corporal, Private, what's he talking about, Apollo?
It's a long story.
Now then, are you ready to testify, youngster? Locked and loaded, sir. Ready to rain lead down upon the perpetrator.
Allow me to flex my rotors. I hate the eyes so much.
Really?
Because they're just angle. Oh, wait. They're supposed to be like flat lines.
Yeah.
I see it as like the black dot. So he's like constantly doing a like looking up face.
Wait, what? Oh, like you don't see the dots on the bottom.
Yeah, I see like the eyes through like the dots up. So he's like,
yeah, I hate that.
yeah, that's
like,
what I've seen this
I'm
entire
like
time.
covering the bottom half, so I can only see that. That's horrible. That's horrible, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I've been seeing this entire time. He looks lecherous.
Papa met with someone the night he died. I didn't have eyes on the ground as I'd already mounted my siege defense, but I did hear him arguing with someone in his study. From my window, I saw the one designated Dax getting ejected from the premises. After that, the man lingered around on the perimeter for some time. He must have regrouped and killed my papa in the study later. I just know it. Mr. Green in the study with the candlestick. So he was thrown out but later returned and committed the murder, did he?
Yes, Your Honor. So the man my client saw really must have been the fleeing Mr. Arable.
Objection. Right, you backstabbing no good. I didn't kill no one. It's the enemy. Ready all missiles and fire.
He has fucking missiles too.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Ha ha ha, capitalist pig. I'll turn you into pork stroganoff. That's the taste of my ultimate anti-swine weapon.
Whoa, it fires missiles too and says based lines.
Just like Senator Armstrong.
Yes, well, the witness is all yours, Mr. Justice. Bailiff, please clean the bloody corpse of That's Horrible off the ground.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of funny comments, did you see the funny comment from Phoenix Wright, episode 17?
Yeah, you messaged me about that. I have it. 17. Here,
Oh, it's a good one.
I'll go find it. That's not the last episode, is it?
I think that's the last episode. I only ever get the good comments on Phoenix Wright.
Oh no, if that's the last episode, I'm kind of concerned.
Oh no, it's actually nothing attached to that one.
Okay, that's good.
It's just a funny line out of context.
What the heck? They're a gay drawing! Someone else said, oh, there is way more than just one. Why the heck they're a gay drawing?
Just a gay drawing. It's just very funny.
I guess they saw Phoenix and Edgeworth in the bottom left, and they're like, that's gay. But the other ones are girls together, so that's not gay, that's hot. Right? That's like the mindset.
I guess so.
Papa met with someone the night he died.
Your father met with someone? Could you be more specific?
I got 21 views. How much of that are people refreshing?
Ah.
No, I was in the midst of a crucial defense siege operation.
I mean, the Phoenix Wright episodes typically tend to do the best of the stuff I upload.
That's true.
Right. That and Danganronpa.
Makes you think maybe I should be a bit more careful with the stupid bullshit I say.
I don't think you need to be careful when, like, 11 people watch the first 2 minutes.
That's, you know what? Good point.
You're referring to how you don't leave your room, correct?
Ever know where the enemy might be lurking outside the siege perimeter?
What about, you know, school?
Oh, I don't go to boot camp. I'm a soldier. Sergeants don't associate with rookies still too green to fight.
With a kid like this, I bet Dr. Buff won't be getting any rest in the afterlife either.
It was very brave of you to come to the courthouse today. What was it you were saying about the siege defense? Oh, that, well,
Hold it!
Sarge, I've always wondered, who or what are you battling?
Well, that's classified.
Even so, it may be relevant to this case.
I don't know if you're the right person to be asking about things like that. That's right, such matters need to be handled with a certain delicacy.
Oh, huh. Guess curiosity got the better of me.
Y'all talking no action, soldier. Out on the battlefield, it ain't the number of petty words in your repertoire, but the number of bullets in your gun belt that counts.
Easy for you to say. You're the one with all of them.
Will the witness please tell the court what he saw and heard that night?
Hold it!
What was the argument about?
I heard things like, "Where's the orb?" and "Are you to define dragons really criminals?" It sounded very volatile, like a war might break out at any second.
So the two of them had an argument where Dats came to get the orb. Did you see or hear anything else?
Yeah, I heard them arguing, and then silence. My window, I saw the one designated Dats getting ejected from the premises.
How was Mr. Arbel acting?
Like a conquered trooper retreating with his tail between his legs.
A trooper, huh? Well, I guess he does dress like he's in the military.
I bet those two would have really hit it off had they met under different circumstances.
And if he didn't kill his father.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
And so the defeated soldiers were expelled. That does in the end.
Wasn't the end.
Hold it!
That does seem suspicious.
Kept hiding behind the trees and the telephone poles and stealing glances at our house.
Well, he couldn't exactly leave without the orb.
Bet he was angry that he'd been kicked out.
Hold it!
But don't you keep your front door unlocked? Wait, what? Don't you keep your front door unlocked? If so, then anyone could get in. That's true.
Papa didn't keep our house locked up. He said there was no need because they were only good people in Graham Village.
Yet he ended up dead anyway.
Only a monster could do what they did to my kind trusting Papa. There will be no mercy. I vow swift and terrible vengeance. I'll carpet bomb the killer with everything in my arsenal. Fire!
While I sympathize with your witness, you will refrain from firing Gatling guns in this court. This is a good out of context Phoenix Wright line.
Yeah, it is. So Sarge saw Dats too.
And just when I thought things couldn't get any worse. I wonder why he hung around after being thrown out.
I hate to say this, but if Dats is proven to be the killer, we'll lose the orb to the plaintiff. So our only option is to prove the Defiant Dragons had nothing to do with the murder.
So this contradicts what the politician asshole Ashton was saying earlier.
It does. Well, actually, I think it just adds on to it. Because I guess he didn't really say, like, what happened after, right?
He might have come back for his suitcase?
I don't think we have that as, like,
No.
evidence, though. It also doesn't really prove that he didn't kill, right?
Yeah. Could we say something like, why wasn't he down there watching with his helicopter?
Yeah, I think so.
Objection!
Yeah, it seems a bit weird. Sarge, are you hiding something from me?
How dare you question your superior officer like that? You want to get on the Stroganoff action with Pig Boy over there, soldier?
Yes. I like Stroganoff. Sorry, but I'm afraid lawyers are missile-proof.
What? Is this like how trans girls can double jump?
Double jump? Yeah, it is.
Lawyers. So, like, a trans female lawyer can double jump and reflect missiles.
Yeah.
So you can just, like, keep stacking these power-ups and become, like, the ultimate being.
That's pretty true, yeah.
Would the defense care to explain?
It's simple, Your Honor. Just as he is able to see what is happening in court right now, Sarge was able to see what was happening in the study then. With this cherished drone, of course.
Ah, now that you mention it. And to think, the answer was right before our eyes this whole time.
Sarge, you were perfectly capable of patrolling the study that night, so you must have seen something.
Ah, I am hit. What is this strange new weapon you're using against me?
Courtroom warriors don't use guns or missiles because evidence is our weapon of choice. And the evidence has exposed your bold-faced lie. My truth bomb, Sarge, has stripped your defenses bare. Athena's just like, oh my god, we went to fucking college for this. This is what we're doing with our lives?
I was like, wait, what? You went to college? I didn't.
Truth bomb, no! Arrgh! Mayday, I'm going down! Oh my god, you killed a child, Apollo! Evidence. Never have seen such fearsome ordnance.
Tell it to us straight, Sarge. After all, you want to help your father, don't you?
Papa.
Yes, you want to find out who killed him, don't you? I wonder what Sarge's voice actually sounds like. Is it just a child doing a faux, like, army voice?
Probably something like that.
I'm just doing this because I feel like he'd have a voice changer.
Yeah, I mean, I think that makes sense.
So please tell us what you saw that night.
It's not what you think. I didn't see anything. I swear.
You sure? Seem awfully stressed for someone who didn't see anything.
Nah.
I guess Apollo wasn't missile-proof after all. Jury's still out. Oh, no, he's missile-proof. Alright, never mind. Sarge, you need to answer my question and not fire missiles at me. Athena is not, like, missile-proof. Actually, no, she is. She's also a lawyer.
And I can double jump.
Shut your pie hole, maggot! I'll be a scorching day in Siberia before a lowly private like you orders me around.
What's with him in Siberia, of all places? But if a scorching day is what it'll take, maybe it's time to turn up the heat. Hey, Athena. Think a therapy session might be of any help.
Oh, I was wondering why I was here. Well, it could help alleviate some of his anxiety. Plus, I'm picking up a lot of discord in Sarge's voice. I guess that's what he's using to transmit his voice over... That usually means the patient wants to say something but can't for some reason.
In Sarge's case, I imagine whatever's plaguing him is pretty severe. Like using Discord, unironically. In that case, I leave it to you and your mood matrix magic.
You got it. Your Honor, I believe I can be of help here.
Time for a therapy session, is it, Miss Sykes? I do like the music playing right now.
Yes, it will help the witness with his anxiety, maybe even enough to testify. Actually, hold on, let's put a pause on that. I remembered my backstory again. Maybe I should get to the therapy session.
Then by all means, please bring the poor child out into the light of day. Oh, but I assume this will be alright with you, Mr. Wright.
Why not? It's not like we all haven't been through this before.
What are you butting in for, lady? This ain't the place on the battlefield for you.
Bang.
I beg to differ, Sarge. This G.I. Jane's always ready for a fight in the courtroom. And wait until you see what I've got in my arsenal. Analytical psychology. Gosh, you heard that? Okay, I wasn't sure.
What'd she hear?
Oh, Ellie said gastrointestinal Jane.
Okay.
With it, I'm gonna blow a big ol' hole in the armor you've built around your heart.
Undertale reference.
Ugh.
No,
First
not really.
evidence. Now analytical psychology? Where are my WMDs coming from? Well, if it's a battle you want, bring it on. You may have started this war, but I'm gonna end it, corpse woman Sykes.
You got it, Sarge. Time to seek out the agony buried deep in your heart.
Face yourself.
I stayed in my room with my drone that evening.
But he was sad.
I heard Dats and Pop arguing with each other. Dats got kicked out, but I saw him still hanging around outside.
Why is he very surprised about that? And why is he very sad about that?
I was in my room, so I didn't know Papa was dead until the next day.
So I'm looking for unexpected emotions and unnatural reactions, right?
Right, emotions and reactions that don't fit the content of his testimony. When you find one, make sure you point it out to me.
Aren't you the one who's supposed to be doing this?
Nope. I'm on break. Also, remember not to view his emotional reactions in isolation. Sometimes it's important to see how they change from one statement to the next.
Alright, I'll give it a try. Yeah, this is definitely weird. That his sadness just, like, super exploded.
Got it.
This emotion isn't that out of place, given the statement.
Oh, okay, never mind, I guess.
Apollo, get fucked. Are you just looking at his emotions as they relate to only a single statement?
I'm sorry.
It's really important to look for emotional fluctuation between different statements, too.
Alright, thanks for the reminder, Athena. Except I don't get fucked because this doesn't take any of my health.
Got it.
That's strange. You reacted with shock when you discovered your father's body. You weren't nearly as shocked then as you were with Mr. Arable. Normally, you'd expect the death of one's father to be much more impactful. That was like the second thing I was gonna go after.
Enemy fire! Direct hit!
That is strange. I wonder what it could mean.
Well, we knew he wasn't as affected by his father's death as he should have been. And I think I know why.
Oh?
Sarge, you weren't as shocked at seeing your father's body as you were seeing Mr. Arable's because you'd already seen his body. Sarge, maybe the truth is you left your room that night, and that's when you saw it, your father's body.
I saw no such thing!
Really? You didn't see his body? Alright then. What did you see?
Look, Apollo, we've lost some noise.
It's just as I suspected. He really did see something. Sarge, please, tell us what you saw.
Oh.
Wait, that's not me.
Oh!
Wait, did you do Athena's line, and then I thought I was the next line?
No, that was Apollo's line.
Oh, okay, okay.
But
Modern Phoenix Wright, everybody.
moment I saw it all, I couldn't bear it. I couldn't stand to lose yet another loved one.
Huh? Am I missing something here? Is that why you weren't very shocked when you found out your father was dead? Because you'd already sensed that he was a goner somehow?
Maybe.
Please, Sarge. What was it you saw on the night of your father's murder?
Oh, I saw... Whoa!
What's happening? I don't like where this is going.
Yar!
He's having such an emotional reaction that it's like destroying the electricity. Help! That was a lot of text that I missed there for a second.
Yeah, it sure was.
Alright, let's go take a look. No more, please. Eek. Help.
I've confiscated your little toy. Battlefield has no place for unauthorized equipment.
Widget! Apollo, I can't continue the session without him.
You're immune to missiles. Go get it.
Calm yourself this instant, witness. I hereby order you to submit to your therapy session.
That's also a really good out of context Phoenix Wright line.
Yes, it is.
What in blazes? Look at me. I'm judge, jury, and executioner now. I hereby convene a military tribunal.
This is kangaroo court. I just wanted it to cut to the judge and him slapping like nothing in his hand. Or just like a second gavel. He's like, I always come prepared.
Yeah.
Well, this has gone way too far.
But bailiff, arrest that drone this instant.
Stop resisting. Ah! Oh! If you don't come quietly, I'll fire. Ah!
Get it back, right?
What the fuck is happening?
And the dot dot dot.
I just wanted to cut to like the case 5 trial 1 where the courtroom is destroyed.
Or game 5 trial 1. Yeah.
Game 5.
Ugh, finally got him back.
Nice work.
This witness is truly a handful. Oh, up 2, 3, 4. Whoa!
Miss Sykes, what's the witness's current psychological state?
I don't know, Phoenix. What do you think?
Let's see. He's emotionally all over the map.
Oh, what? So his out of control emotions are in control of him, huh? Does that mean we can calm him down if we can figure out the root cause?
Yes, so let's see what he can find. Or what we can find. Sarge, can you hear me?
Oh, is that you, Corsoman Sykes?
I'm here. Now, I want you to take a few deep breaths. Just try to relax. Try it with me. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out.
In, out. In, out.
And now, let your emotions take you where they will. Go on, just let it all out.
Whoa! All forces attack!
That's the least relaxing breathing exercise I've ever seen. So sad.
That's what's still hanging around after you got kicked out, Win. I hope more fighting. I got worried about Papa. So I left my room, but suddenly I got dizzy and passed out. I remember a flame lighting up in the room, and Papa grinning with delight. That was when he must have been killed, if only I hadn't passed out.
Got it!
It's the fire. That's it. Sarge, you were overcome with shock and fear when you saw those flames, weren't you?
Was I?
Yes, just 6 months ago. It's this really good song that I want to use. You and your mother were caught up in an arsonist blaze, so it's no wonder you'd be extremely scared of fire.
Yeah, that does make sense.
And maybe, just maybe, your subconscious fear of fire was what caused you to withdraw from the world.
What do you mean, Corpswoman Sykes?
In the outside world, you were bound to come across all sorts of fire. Candles, cigarettes, heck, even the grill at a diner. Even if it's not that often, just the idea that you might see them. grew bigger and bigger until you couldn't shut it out.
That's when you decided to build a drone that fired fucking missiles that explode. Actually, we don't know if they explode.
I don't think they do.
I think you might be on to something. Candles, cigarettes, just thinking about them sends a chill down my spine.
Wow, the things I take for granted.
Now I see. I was afraid of the fire. Strange, I didn't even realize it myself.
About that fire, Sarge. Can you tell me what it was burning?
Just stay calm and maybe something will come to you.
Oh, Oh, I'm starting to remember. It was that relic. That relic Papa was studying. It was on fire.
The orb was on fire?
Mm-hmm. Still kind of fuzzy. But yeah, the orb was burning right in front of Papa. There in the flames was Mama. Yeah, now I remember. I saw Mama up here amid the dancing flames. Wait, what?
This is delicious. That's fucking weird.
Out of context, Ace Attorney.
This is like something straight out of Fire Emblem Echoes.
Hmm.
You haven't gotten to there in Echoes, have you?
Nah.
What's going on here?
Maybe it's a memory from the fire that killed his mother. He might be confusing it with what really happened when his father died.
So let me guess, more therapy?
Yep. But this time, it seems there's an inconsistency in his statement. Just trust me, I know that somehow. And I think we should be able to prove it with the evidence at hand.
I hope this inconsistency is the key to proving how the relic really is the Founder's Orb. I bet the orb actually does have something to do with, like, channeling spirits. Like, being able to see people through it, somehow. Kind of like a pocket-sized version of what Rafa can do.
Check the description of it. There might be something related. It's the second thing.
Oh yeah, I guess it is attached to the second thing.
No, okay, it doesn't say anything. Maybe the notes do.
I mean, all this stuff about, like, the poem. Offer thy prayers as fervent of fire, only then shall the Holy Mother return. So it allows you to essentially see the Holy Mother, I guess?
Which, I guess would make sense because you need to see someone's face to channel them, right?
Yes.
That's why people would give a shit about it?
So it allows you to see the Holy Mother. So being able to see that means that someone could channel the Holy Mother. Hence, they could use it to prove who is the leader of the kingdom, the founder.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so that makes a lot of sense then.
Yeah.
This is the Founder's Orb then.
Probably.
It was on fire and I saw Mama's face inside. Here we go. That's some Papa must have been killed. If only I hadn't passed out.
I believe Sarge's fear of fire is triggering a past memory. As a result, the memory of what he really saw is being suppressed. He tries to remember the past memories being overlaid on the more recent.
Wow, the mind sure is a tricky beast. So I just have to find an inconsistency?
Right. Once you find an inconsistent statement, present the evidence that proves it.
The main issue here is what the doctor was murdered. Was he really killed while Dats was there? Dats was still hanging around, and he got kicked out. How does he know that... Wait, oh, wait. Okay, I see what he's saying. I guess there's this. That's still hanging around after when he got kicked out, when he heard more fighting. So that can't be Dats.
That is a weird thing, but I don't think you can prove that.
Yeah. I guess here there's no finer. It's equipped with a microphone. Has it ever been established that it can record?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. It's opaque. Opaque means it's like not see-through.
Correct.
So how could you see the face inside? I guess. That's like kind of stupid.
But I mean, you're on the right track.
Oh, he didn't have it because it was in the fucking ruins. Doy. Well, that's a pretty big inconsistency.
I think he did. I think at some point he did put it in the... Well, I guess if this was when he died.
The doctor hid it in the ruins before his untimely death.
Right.
So that?
Yeah, that would... I guess... I think so.
How would he have the Founder's Orb if we found it inside, like, a shrine? Unless...
Yeah, I think that changes the time that this happened.
Yeah.
Objection!
What? There's an inconsistency in Sarge's testimony.
Oh, you're right. It was the wrong statement.
Okay. What? Well, that's the one that says it's the orb.
It's the next one that says that's when he must have been killed, because it's like, no, it's not. Because he had the orb, which means he couldn't have been killed.
Okay, that's a little fucking. That should work here. Come on. Right?
I don't think so. The orb, because the description of the orb doesn't prove that he doesn't have it here. It just proves that he wasn't killed here, right?
Objection!
Yeah, that's really technical.
Yeah.
Don't blame yourself, Sarge. After all, even if he hadn't passed out, the outcome would have been the same.
What do you mean?
I'm talking about the time of death. Your father wasn't killed right after you left your room.
What? Explain yourself at once, Private Justice.
You said you saw your father burning the orb, right? Oh, I see what they're saying. But that night he went out to hide in a cave. Okay, so he saw his father, then he passed out for like fucking 12 plus hours while he went to go shove it inside a cave. Gotcha. What you saw, Sarge, was something that happened way before your father left to hide the orb. So you see, you didn't pass out right before he was killed. He passed out right before he left for the cave to hide the orb in the ruins within.
So, even if I hadn't passed out...
That's right. The outcome would have been exactly the same. That's because your father, Dr. Buff, was killed after he returned from the ruins. And therefore, Sarge, there's no need for you to blame yourself.
Oh, I see.
Well, if I hadn't passed out for 12 plus hours, I could have saved him when he came back.
Private Justice, can you really say I bear no blame in this?
Why do you ask?
Because, well, the truth is, if I hadn't engaged in my siege defense, Papa would still be alive.
Sarge.
Papa wished nothing more than for me to lead a happy, healthy life. That's why I quit his job and moved us out, away from the big city. But even then, I didn't have the courage to set foot outside in the outside world. In the end, I failed to make Papa's wish come true.
I don't mean to ruin the emotions of the scene, but that pan there reminded me a lot of when someone tries to say something emotionally poignant in Family Guy. And it does like a slow zoom in on the character's face.
I'm
As
not aware
Seth
of
Green
this.
monologues to the camera about his whatever belief.
Yeah, I'm not aware of that.
What do you think that Jerry's thinking at this time? Like, what in God's name did I walk into today?
I think most of them are like, this is fucked up, that poor kid.
I mean, yeah. Phoenix, I guess? Or is this...
I'm not sure. Might be Athena.
It might be Athena, it might be Paul Addison. It's not. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Athena.
Sarge, if you want to make your father's wish come true, if that's what you really want, then who's to say it's too late? Why don't you take the first step now?
My first step.
That's right. You can cast off all your regret. You can stop standing still and start moving forward. You have the power within you. I know from experience. I know what it's like to feel like you do. But only you can decide to take that first step.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
Oh, sorry I brought up fires again.
If you don't change your tactics now, Sarge, the victory you seek in the war you're waging will always lie beyond your grasp.
It's fucking long.
I think I understand now. I've made up my mind. As of this moment, I will suspend my siege defense indefinitely.
Leg shot? Yeah. Aw. Aw. Huh? Sergeant Buff reporting for duty.
What?
I thought you were a guy.
You're definitely not the gruff drill sergeant I envisioned.
Well, my mama was in the Russian army.
I was just as shocked, but it certainly explained a few things when I found out, too. May I introduce you to Miss Army Buff, age 12.
No way.
Careful, soldier. Don't forget I could blow you away at a moment's notice.
She's just too cute.
So have you always been in a wheelchair, Sarge?
Negative. Only since I was injured. In the fire.
Your voice sounds awfully different from before.
My drone features a voice modulation device. It's just one of my army's many technological marvels.
Well, you fooled me. I thought you were some 20-something military fanatic with all the controls.
If it's all the same to you, troops, I'd like to continue my testimony. I've just remembered something, and it's as crisp and clear as a trumpet roll call.
What'd you remember?
It was my mother who appeared at the burning orb. It was some lady Papa had shown me a picture of a long time ago. He said it was the Holy Mother, the founder of Craniism. She appeared right there, right in the burning orb.
Huh?
What did you just say?
Bing. This is a bad search bar.
The Holy Mother of Koreanism was in the burning orb. What does that even mean?
It means we won! He just starts, like, dancing.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Could it be? Could this explain what Sarge meant by the Holy Mother appearing in the burning orb? Well, it could just be that the research notes tell us a little something something.
Dr. Buff's research notes? What do they have to do with this?
Look at this. The burning orb, the appearance of the founder. This part points to both. It's all right here.
You aimed slightly above the text.
Well, maybe you can explain it for once, Athena?
I'm not the one who's supposed to explain things when you're the one presenting.
Yikes, she's really mad. I better come up with something before anger burns me to a crisp.
He did it again, I think.
There's a legend about the orb involving a mysterious riddle. My control stick's a little sensitive. And this song, in turn, is said to contain the key to solving it. If the legend is true, then I believe the answer lies in the part of the song. Offer thy prayers as fervent as fire. Only then shall the Holy Mother return. Well, anyone see where I'm going with this?
Prayers as fervent as fire. You're supposed to set the orb on fire.
The whole stanza seems to suggest that founder will appear if the orb is set on fire.
Wait, so the doctor, he...
Yeah, Athena. He'd solve the ancient riddle of the founder's orb.
Oh my!
Papa was a great archaeologist, so I believe in him. And I want to believe he achieved his lifelong dream of solving this riddle before he died.
Well, we won't know for sure until we try it for ourselves.
Yeah, do it, Private Justice, please. I want to see what Papa was searching for with my own eyes.
The plaintiff must object to this.
The plaintiff will stand down and be quiet.
You don't have the right to set a precious relic like that on fire.
Oh, but I do. All I needed was Sarge's permission. Since we still don't know if this treasure is the Founder's Orb or the Crystal of Ami Faye, any ownership rights the doctors had now belong to his daughter. Therefore, you have absolutely no right to stop us.
Actually, I have a right to stop you. You're not burning shit in my courtroom. Very well, Mr. Justice. I had a change of heart. I never thought I'd be saying this, but you may burn the evidence.
Alright, here we go. Burning evidence. Just like Mr. Blaze. He even has the lighter!
You see, Sebastian.
You see, Sebastian.
If this doesn't work, I'm gonna pour bleach in your eyes. Apollo, the inside of the orb, it's melting.
There's something in there.
Wow, we're going to hell, Apollo.
Dirk, isn't she?
Her garb leaves no room for doubt. It's the founder herself. Face and all. I don't understand. The greatest of taboos in Koreanism is the depiction of the founder's face. Here it is, hidden within this orb.
Do you think that's why it's a taboo? Is so that no one can channel her?
It might be.
Maybe that was a recent thing that was like covered up through conspiracy. That the greatest taboo is like revealing her face so no one could call her. So like whoever stole the throne like 100+ years ago. Something. Sorry, Mr. Wright, but as you can see, the issue is crystal clear. This figure is the Holy Mother, founder of Crainism. And based on that, this must be none other than the Founder's Orb.
Objection!
But be that as it may, Mr. Arable still may have killed the doctor. If so, it would render the orb transfer agreement null and void.
Don't play dumb, Mr. Wright. The truth of the matter has already been proven. Dr. Buff wasn't killed right after Sarge saw Mr. Arable. It happened after the doctor came back from hiding the orb. And you've no proof that Mr. Arable was still around at that time. Your claim that the Defiant Dragons are behind the crime doesn't hold any water. And that means that the orb transfer agreement is still perfectly valid. Admit it, Mr. Wright. I just burned your whole case to the ground.
Oh, no!
So that's 2 cases you've lost this game, Mr. Phoenix Wright. That's a winning record. I won. I actually won.
Mr. Wright, would you care to respond?
Respond.
I didn't think so.
Wait, did we just win? Did we actually beat the Turnabout Terror? You're amazing, Apollo! Don't just stand there, Wright. Do something! Well, I don't think there's any digging out of this hole.
Mr. Addison Wimperson, I think it's time for your concession speech. I have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is the Founder's Orb. The facts don't lie, but you obviously do. How's that for a campaign slogan?
Why, you contemptuous peasant?
I think this is a good time to wrap up this trial. If both parties have no further objections, I will render my verdict.
No objection here, Your Honor.
No, You can't do this. The crystal is mine. I'll lose the election if I lose that crystal. I'm sorry, but there's really nothing more I can do. You haven't forgotten about our little chat, have you?
What's going on here?
Objection!
Your Honor, I object to the defense's last claim.
What?
I don't believe they have truly proven that the relic is indeed the Founder's Orb.
Oh, come on, Mr. Wright. I don't think even you could bluff your way out of this one. What possible argument could you have to claim that this isn't the Founder's Orb? I've bluffed out of worse.
About that. Oh, of course.
He can't possibly have hit on something. There's no way.
Eat cereal. The defense's assertion is incomplete, and this is why. The defense is basing their claim that this relic is the Founder's Orb on a legend, and that legend claims that the Founder will return when the riddle is solved at last.
Well, right. And that's what happened. The Founder was revealed for all to see.
But, Mr. Justice, what about the rest of the legend?
Huh?
According to the legend, once the Founder returned, she would bestow spiritual power onto the person who solves the riddle.
You're kidding, right?
Well, Mr. Justice, do you feel great spiritual power coursing through your veins?
I don't know. Do you think the guy who revealed it yesterday felt spiritual power coursing through his fucking skull when it was cracked with a whatever object?
The kid starts crying.
No. But receiving spiritual power and stuff, it's all just mystical mumbo-jumbo, right?
Maybe so, but you're the one basing your claim on said legend. And what we saw here does not fully fulfill it, does it?
No, but...
Consequently, you cannot rightfully claim that this is the Founder's Orb.
Look at him fucking smugly holding his shoulders. What's gotten into him? Why is Mr. Wright doing this?
Well, it would appear that Mr. Wright has lost a few of his marbles.
That couldn't be further from the truth, Your Honor.
In any case, I believe this is a good time for a recess. Both sides will have 20 minutes to prepare. Ask that all arguments be ready by then. Oh, and Mr. Wright, you do well to wash up and find your missing marbles by then, too.
May 17th.
It's a good thing that bailiff died to all those missiles, so we don't ever have to hear him again.
And we don't have to pay him. Mr. Wright's just sure acting funny. I mean, he's famous for going out on a limb, but that last assertion was just plain crazy.
It's either a bluff or a Hail Mary. Either way, it doesn't make much sense.
Maybe there's something we're missing here. Although he seemed perfectly normal when we spoke earlier. Apollo, I have a bad feeling about this. I'm gonna check up on him.
What's going on with you, Mr. Wright?
Hey, Private Justice.
Oh, Sarge.
I forgot to mention something. On the night of Papa's murder, a strange thing happened.
Oh? Why are you only telling me about it now?
Well, I didn't say anything before because I thought Papa's death was on accident. But now that we know otherwise, I figured it might be more important.
There's still more to this case? He says, not realizing that this is only 1/4 of the case.
When I left my room and lost consciousness, I passed out right here.
That's right above the coffee bar.
Mm-hmm. But when I came to, someone was pushing my wheelchair.
What?
I was so scared I beat a hasty retreat, as fast as my wheels could take me.
Do you know who it was?
No, it was pitch black. Plus, I fled to my room so fast I didn't even have a chance to turn on the lights.
Maybe it was your father.
No, he would have said something to me. Besides, I'd have known if it was him.
So then it couldn't have been... It could have been your father's real killer?
My thoughts exactly.
But you didn't report this to the police.
It didn't even occur to me.
It's okay. You were obviously still upset, so don't beat yourself up over it.
Apollo, this could be really important information. I think the act of pushing Sarge's wheelchair could be part of some bigger scheme. It's hard to see why else the killer would have done such a thing.
Guess I should take her statement down as evidence.
I've been waiting for that character reveal since the start of the chapter, by the way.
I had, like, the thought that everyone just, like, kind of jumped on them being a boy. I'm like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, you know, it's not, like, confirmed. But I guess, like, if the character themselves is also, like, using masculine pronouns, did they?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't think so. But she
Okay.
wasn't refuting it either.
Yeah. Oh, welcome back, Athena. Boy, you look happy. How'd it go with Mr. Wright?
What should I...
Athena?
Oh, sorry. Zoned out there for a sec. The recess is almost over, so let's go.
What was that all about? Paul Addison, professional kidnapper, has Pearly Faye hostage.
Speaking of the best. I am the best upon...
What if he has the best hostage? I've kidnapped this worthless child. Thinks like, who the hell is that?
Except he's actually like a 24-year-old man by this part of the timeline.
It's okay. He's perpetually a child.
All right, court, once again back in session. Now, Mr. Wright, by the last objection you raised,
We, the plaintiffs, still believe that the defense has yet to sufficiently prove its case. They claim that, according to legend, the Founder's Orb would bestow spiritual power. Yet the relic in question has failed to do so. Therefore, it has failed its own test.
I see.
He's sticking with that ridiculous argument.
Furthermore, even if it is the Founder's Orb, it can't be awarded to the Defiant Dragons. After all, they were the ones who killed Dr. Buff.
Objection!
What are you talking about? That was already proven to be false. There are no grounds for assertion that the Defiant Dragons murdered the Doctor.
Oh, but I'm afraid there are, Mr. Justice. Your Honor, I would like to present new testimony to this court. Testimony that will show that Dat Arable did, in fact, kill Dr. Buff.
What?
Very well. You may call your witness.
I'm assuming what's going on right now is very much a 2-4. And Phoenix is relying on, I guess, Edgeworth to do shit in the background while he stalls.
I guess Mr. Wright found another new angle.
What new testimony could there be this late in the game? Hello, I still exist.
Fellow citizens, it is I, Paul Addison, the once and future representative of the people.
Jeez, not him again.
My client divulged new information to me during the recess.
Jesus is real and Ace Attorney lore.
He remembered something he saw, you see. Something crucial to this case. And it isn't bullshit.
How very convenient.
Well, Quilfin.
It was around 11 at night, and I was out on a mobile meet and greet around the village. That's when I saw Dr. Buff being murdered from outside his study window. Mr. Arable snuck up from behind and struck him on the head. His weapon of choice? A suitcase. A big, strong man like him could easily swing a heavy suitcase into someone's head. Hubba hubba.
Not Kokichi, though. You saw the murder as it happened, and you're just telling us now because...
I saved the best for last. It's a tactic known to all the political great. The murder weapon was a complete mystery, but my client's eyewitness account has finally brought it into the light.
According to the autopsy report, Dr. Buff was struck in the head by the corner of some object. I suppose that could very well be the corner of a suitcase.
Objection!
Now hold on. But eyewitness testimony isn't the same as hard evidence.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about that if I were you.
What's that supposed to mean?
We had physical evidence too. A luminol test revealed.
Ah, sure enough.
The doctor's blood on Mr. Arable's suitcase.
Really? But how does that prove Mr. Arable used it as a weapon? I couldn't have checked the bottom of the suitcase, could I? I had to check the top part
Well,
of it.
you were using fingerprint powder.
Oh, yeah. How does that prove Mr. Arable used it as a weapon?
You should know the answer to that, Mr. Justice. Since you know as well as I that the suitcase is covered in his fingerprints.
I forgot we touched it right in front of Emma.
The turnabout terror strikes again.
This is quite convincing testimony and evidence. I guess you did find your marbles. Nevertheless, you may proceed with your cross-examination, Mr. Justice.
Hold it!
I really don't need to press this. You run a so-called mobile meet and greet at 11 at night.
That's right. It's the perfect time because everyone is at home.
And trying to sleep.
You should have seen how the villagers' eyes teared up when they heard what I had to say.
With tears of frustration, no doubt. You weren't riding around in your pelican?
That's right. Some village idiot reported me to the police. I've been banned from using it after dark. No wonder, what with all the noise he makes.
So what exactly did you see then?
Hold it!
Sounds like you witnessed something rather shocking.
Indeed, I didn't even believe it at first. I mean, a vicious murder in Crane?
There haven't been many murders there, I take it. Unfortunately, Phoenix saw the other latest murder that occurred there 7 years ago.
If I'm elected, I promise you that such a terrible tragedy will never happen again. A vote for me is a vote to banish murder forever from our beloved Crane village. You know what that reminds me of? There's a thing where, on Twitter, some fucking, like, I don't remember who, but some Democrat politician, like, posted, like, a list of things that they wanted to, like, make, like, illegal. And Ben Shapiro, like, replied and said, "Curious how you didn't say crime." Like, yeah, it's a good point. They should platform on making crime illegal. That's a good point. Wow.
Well, don't you know, I'm the devil's advocate, you know. That's just my personality. Yeah, good luck with that.
Mr. Anderson Wimperson, please tell the court what you saw at the scene of the crime.
Hold it!
He snuck up from behind. So you're saying the doctor never even realized Mr. Arble was there?
That's right. He was utterly absorbed in a book.
I see. What did you see Mr. Arble do next?
He climbed up the bookshelf ladder and dumped a bunch of books down on the body. I believe he was trying to make it look like an accident, but that idiot didn't realize I could see everything from outside the window.
One of those statements doesn't feel right. Your Honor, I believe the witness made an important statement just now about how Dats is an idiot. The doctor was reading a book. I guess that's important because that proves it was the psychology book, maybe?
Doesn't prove which book it is, but that doesn't mean it's not important.
The crime being clearly visible, the window. I mean, it was nighttime, but it was probably bright because of the moon. Was the moon out that night?
I don't know, but presumably the lights were on in the...
Oh, yeah. The doctor was reading a book at the time of the murder. That's vital testimony.
Very well, the witness will please add that statement to his testimony.
The doctor was standing in front of the bookshelves, absorbed in a book.
Does this disprove that the psychology book was necessarily...
Necessarily what? It's hard to use this as evidence right now because the body was tampered with.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. These were found on his desk, not on his person. There we go. I knew those were going to be relevant. The doctor was standing in front of the bookshelves absorbing a book, you say. I'm sorry, but it seems your testimony is completely unreliable.
That's quite a bold statement. Well, let's hear you back it up. I challenge you to prove that I am anything but 100% reliable.
You're a politician.
It cuts to, like, Danganronpa, like, crossblades.
It would be my pleasure. Lately, it seems the doctor's eyes have gotten so bad he needed reading glasses. However, his reading glasses were over on the desk. So you see, there's no way he could have been reading in front of the bookshelves. I'm sorry, Mr. Addison Wimperson, but I'm gonna have to ask you to explain this discrepancy to the voting public. You what?
I'll explain it, you lowly cur. I simply made a mistake, you see. The doctor was actually sitting at his desk when Mr. Arble hit him over the head.
But then the doctor would have been facing him. Surely he would have seen him and tried to run.
Dr. Buff was nodding off. I could tell because his eyes were closed and he wasn't moving.
Sounds more like what you would do. Then how do you explain the fact that he was struck in the back of the head? Isn't that something that should have been impossible from the front of the desk?
Oh, about that. He bowed his head when he nodded off. That's when he was clobbered.
It's clobbering time.
So that's what you saw.
Judge, come on.
Well, Mr. Justice, that sounds like a perfectly reasonable explanation to me.
I love the idea of Phoenix just sitting there fucking, like,
Do you
wanting
have
to
a problem
die.
with the proposal that the doctor was struck while nodding off?
Yeah, I got a big problem in there. There is a problem, a very big one. The witness statement doesn't hold up under the slightest bit of scrutiny.
Is that so? Will you please show the court what evidence you have to justify this?
Gladly, Your Honor. This shows the problem with the witness's claim that he saw the doctor nodding off. Because he had coffee. This is such a bad argument, but he did have coffee.
I mean, I can sleep with coffee. Maybe he's an ADHD.
This shows the glaring problem with the witness's statement. See? The witness is passed out from the overwhelming power of my evidence.
No, Mr. Justice, your lackadaisical attempt to refute him put my client to sleep. That's all.
I feel yawn coming on myself. Perhaps giving this penalty will wake me up.
Surely there are better ways to stay awake, Your Honor, like coffee.
Apollo, think about the relative positions of the witness and doctor again.
Fine. I guess if he's at the desk, he couldn't have seen this. No, he still could have seen this. Oh, there's two bookshelves on the side. He'd have to, like, swing over the desk, I guess.
I think that the bookshelf was, like, really tall, actually.
Yeah.
So...
A diagram of the study, again.
Mr. Addison Wimperson allegedly viewed the murder from here. And the doctor was allegedly nodding off here. Yeah, good luck. But from his vantage point, the bookcase would have blocked the witness's line of sight.
Why, yes, I believe you're right.
But...
Objection!
The fact remains that my client knew that the suitcase was the murder weapon. So he definitely has first-hand knowledge of the crime scene.
I'm afraid I have to agree with you there, Mr. Wright. But then we have to ask ourselves, from what vantage point did he see the murder?
What are you insinuating, Mr. Justice?
For what vantage point could Mr. Addison Wimperson have seen the dozing doctor? Once we determine that, I believe we'll finally see the truth behind the incident. The witness saw the murder from here. So he was up here, then. Because he walked in through the entrance. He was in the house.
He would have had to have been inside, yeah. You've got to be kidding!
But that's...
It is indeed. But everything only makes sense if the witness was there in the study.
Inside the study? But that's the scene of the crime!
I know. Mr. Addison Wimperson, the man who claims to be a witness to the murder, was most certainly in that very room.
Apollo, are you suggesting a man of the people like him?
Mr. Addison Wimperson, weren't you the one who actually swung that suitcase? I guess that's also an implication you can make.
Ah. What you're proposing is ludicrous. My client is a small, thin man, whereas Mr. Arable has the musculature to pull it off. This is just
Goddamn.
like a Kokichi argument all over again.
This is actually the Kokichi argument. He has a point. I mean, he's got a point. I gave up trying to lift that thing after one go.
That's right. I only could have done it if I tied a rope to it and then dragged it up the side of a wall from above the wall on a ledge. Luckily, that wasn't the case here. He's the only one who could have lifted it. Now do you understand? The rebel Dot Arable is the doctor's killer.
See, that's the difference between, like, you and Jaden making that type of joke. When Jaden makes a joke like that, he's just like, I read the line. So.
Yeah. I did read this one, though.
Yes.
As long as the suitcase is the murder weapon, the suspicion falls entirely on Dats. You'll have to poke a hole in Mr. Wright's argument somehow, Apollo.
Oh, I will. And with his own technique, no less. Mr. Addison Whipperson couldn't swing the suitcase around. We'll just have to consider another way he could have used it as a murder weapon instead. I'm gonna turn this case on its head, Mr. Wright, just like you taught me.
You talk big, Mr. Justice, but do you have what it takes?
Well, this should be interesting.
Mr. Addison Whipperson's testimony has been filled with one inaccuracy after another. First, he stated that Dr. Buff was in front of the bookshelves. Now he claims that the doctor was sitting at his desk. So where was the victim really when he was killed? Also, where was his killer, and how was the murder weapon really used?
So the important thing here is the position of the victim and the killer's relative to each other.
Yes, Your Honor. If they were positioned in a certain way, it would be possible to use the suitcase as a weapon without lifting a finger.
You can't mean...
Oh, I mean. I would ask the court to recall the study's layout. It's quite distinctive, as you can see. Now, if Dr. Buff were sitting in a certain spot and his killer was actually at another certain spot, the suitcase would have become a weapon anyone could use.
Very well, Mr. Justice. Where was Dr. Buff killed at the time of the crime?
Killer at the time of the crime. I'm guessing it's up here. Because he dropped it over the railing and bashed him in the fucking head with it.
That would make sense. With, like, anyone being able to do it.
Yeah, because he could lift it over the wall by pushing it against the wall.
Yeah, exactly.
There.
Oh, that's...
This should wrap things up nice and pretty for you, Mr. Wright. I would ask the court to recall the study's layout. But this time, instead of thinking in 2 dimensions, let's think in 3. Only then can we clearly see the killer's method at work. Oh my. The killer didn't have to swing the suitcase. The railing was actually big enough for it. I guess he could just slide it. If he used gravity to his advantage, that is. Imagine doing all this and then you miss. That's right, it was the plaintiff, one Paul Addison Whipperson, who used the suitcase in the study. He pushed it from the 2nd floor and sent it hurtling down onto Dr. Buff, who was sitting at the coffee bar. Classic black versus white. What were they called? From Mad, the Mad comics. It's
I have no idea.
It's like the spy versus spy. That's what it is. And one of them is black spy and one of them is white spy.
Right. I know you're talking about. Oh, I thought they were gonna show it hitting him. I was gonna play a vine boom.
That's too violent for a
yark.
teen-rated game. The psychology book has been at the coffee bar, no doubt. The doctor must have set it down there after he'd finished reading it, or the like. But his blood got on it, which is why the killer thought to hide it in the mountain of books.
That's quite an entertaining theory you have there, Mr. Justice. But there's no evidence that the murder took place at the coffee bar.
Oh, but there is. I just presented it too early. I'd say that the evidence of the murder occurring at the coffee bar does exist. And I'm going to show you.
You are?
This right here is proof that the murder took place at the coffee bar. Well, this certainly makes it fucking easy. Bing. This brown stain was determined to be coffee, and the victim shit himself. What's more, it was a bit damp when we saw it yesterday morning. One look at this book speaks volumes, I'm afraid, Mr. Wright. There's a lot of good puns in this one.
Yeah.
Especially with the army girl, there was a lot of really good ones.
Mm-hmm.
It tells us the doctor was having a cup of coffee at the coffee bar. That's when the suitcase came hurtling down, striking him on the head. Causing both his blood and his coffee to splatter on it. That's a spatter?
I think it said splatter. No, I did say spatter.
To spatter. Spatter also works, it's just not like the word I would have used. Well, Mr. Addison Wimperson.
What motive could I have possibly had to kill Dr. Buff?
And there it is. That final excuse cornered killers are so fond of. Well, the doctor never returned your crystal to you, did he? Instead, he hid it in the cave ruins. Telling him that the Defiant Dragons were a dangerous bunch was a huge blunder. All it did was make him hide the orb. Your lie came back to bite you in the end. Even worse, the doctor saw the news reports, so he knew the relic was the Founder's orb. Being the conscientious researcher he was, he knew he had to return it to its rightful place. And that meant keeping it out of your hands. You were so angry that he refused to return the relic to you. That you killed him with your own hands. Isn't that right, Mr. Addison Wimperson?
That is... Apollo. Please don't accuse my client of murder.
Huh? What do you mean, don't accuse him? Why would you even say that, Mr. Wright?
What I meant was, he's a promising politician with a bright future ahead of him. It's in our nation's best interests to avoid burdening him with the taint of scandal.
Say why?
Right, you'd better do something to change the current courtroom climate, or I'll be charged with murder. And you know what will happen to her if that happens.
Wow, you're very blatant about it this time. So it's happened again, huh, Mr. Phoenix Wright?
Yeah, she's...
Which one is it this time? Is it Maya? Pearls?
It's both of them, Your Honor.
Jesus Christ.
What's he talking about? Well, I can ponder that later. I can ponder the orb later, for now.
Yeah.
Mr. Wright, you can't possibly believe that Mr. Arable is the killer. Are you really gonna send an innocent man to prison? I thought you were better than that. Well, Mr. Wright, answer me. Mr. Wright, this is why I pay Emily the big bucks for voice acting.
Yeah, that's right.
What in the world's going on here? He hasn't made that face since Trial 3, Case 5, or Game 3, Case 5. Actually, he's made that face a bunch. That said, that face of him face desking was really fucked up the scene 2-4 when it was like the first time that happened.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like how I feel about Francisca's theme.
Right, the first time it's like, holy shit, the 80s time.
But when her fucking father appears and they decide to play the song, that's when it's
when he
like...
crawls out of a sugar castle.
Yeah. Epic. Truly, I lost my shit. Mr. Addison Wimperson, the defense hereby...
Apollo, wait.
Ah, you too, Athena.
It's just... I wasn't sure whether I should say anything, but... During that last recess, when I went to check on Mr. Wright, I overheard something I shouldn't have. I trust Maya is unharmed. I can't really say. I crawled back in my palanquin for this. But just remember, if I'm arrested or fail to obtain the treasure, there will be consequences. Consequences of the worst kind, if you catch my drift.
She is inside this pelican.
Nick, get me out of here. Nick!
He's using me as a footrest, Nick.
Relax. All you have to do is ensure I get my hands on that relic. I must deliver it to my benefactor at all costs. What do they want that relic for anyway? It's something to do with an old legend. My patron seeks the great power said to be granted to whoever solves its secret.
Ah, he was chaotic neutral with a shitty patron. I knew it. Maya? As in Maya Fey?
Yes, the boss's legendary former assistant. That's
Legendary.
how we see her, because we haven't actually interacted with her before, I guess.
Miss Fey's being held hostage?
So it seems.
Why didn't you tell me as soon as you heard this?
Sorry, it's just Mr. Wright spotted me before he could slip away, and made me promise not to tell you. He said it would make things more difficult if you found out.
So things weren't already hard enough! So that's why Mr. Wright was acting so strange. I had no idea. This must have been excruciating for him for the 11th time. Does Maya just have no fucking spatial awareness? How does this keep happening?
Oops.
Oops, all kidnaps.
I see, fair, it's only happened 2 times, right?
No, it's happened more.
Has it?
Yes.
When else was she kidnapped?
I'm
pretty sure it's just the 2 times. She's been accused of murder many times.
She went missing a bunch of times. She was missing across the bridge. In 3-5.
That's not really kidnapped, though.
I don't know. She gets in a lot of dangerous trouble.
She does, that's true.
And Justice, there's gotta be something you can do.
Mr. Justice, about this last statement of yours. I believe you were in the middle of accusing the plaintiff of murdering Dr. Buff.
The courtroom's just sir, I think we have a hostage situation.
I think
you heard everything.
I think Athena whispers that. Whenever they show you the close-up, usually a private conversation.
Yeah, except for the Mr. Paul Addison Wimperson saying it out loud.
Oh. Nah, he's just saying his weird politician thing, you know.
The court record recording all this, just being
no, it's fine. Blaze to Best just burned that up.
We were in the middle of accusing the plaintiff of murdering Dr. Buff. Would you care to continue?
I'm sorry, Apollo. I'm really, really sorry.
What's gotten into you two? If I didn't know any better, I'd say you were conspiring, because you work for the same law firm. How on earth did we allow this to get off the ground?
I accuse that slime bag of putting Miss Maya Fey's life in jeopardy.
It seems you finally caught on. I'm far too important to be accused of murder. After all, our nation's future rests squarely on my shoulders.
And this is where the 2016 election is, itching into the debate. Either I give up or... That Italian plastic is holding up something fierce.
Once I present the crystal to my patron, my victory is assured. Then one day I'll become president, and then king!
Of what?
I'll have every politician at my command. Now, retract your accusation.
I can't kowtow to him, but the defense would, like to retract the previous accusation. Oh, that was Dirk.
Apollo.
Dirk.
I don't know what's going on here, but a lawyer should never look the way you do right now, with defeat and resignation written all over your face.
Hmm.
A dragon never yields.
Dragonator.
Coffee.
Even when wounded, a dragon bites down hard and never lets go till its dying breath. It glares, it roars, and it latches its jaws firmly onto its prey till the bitter end.
Do you think that's how the Thunder Dragon felt taking Zuper down from like 4 to 1?
Yes. God,
It was just like, it survived that rock slide and it was just like, yes! And started just like, I won! Yeah! Not to make fun of this. That really was very shit how much it slept you.
Mm-hmm. That's what lawyers do to get to the truth.
Dirk. Dragon never yields. He's right. It's all over if I give up now. Mr. Wright's hands are tied. It's up to me to do what must be done. He's saved my neck so many times. Now, it's my turn to save his. Dirk, thanks for that wake-up call.
Now that's the face of a lawyer you've got there, son.
The judge is just like,
Hey, wait a minute. I've seen you before.
No.
Oh my god, you're that guy on the TV.
He does the Queen Deltarune exit.
woo! Where there's a will, there's a way. And I'm gonna find the way to save Miss Faye and see that justice is served today. Hey. That scumbag's holding Miss Faye hostage to ensure he gets the orb for his patron. And it seems said patron believes in the orb's legend. Thing is, the founder did appear when the orb was exposed to fire, just as the legend said. If the legend's true, then we've already solved the riddle, yep. Yes, we have. We definitely solved the riddle, and yet, we still don't understand what the part about bestowing power is talking about. I guess we haven't. No. I guess the case isn't over yet. We have not solved the riddle yet. The legend says the founder will bestow great spiritual power when she returns. But if that's true, it means we haven't solved the whole riddle yet. But how could that be? Are we missing something? Wait, maybe. Maybe the part about the founder return should have been taken literally. But how would it be possible for a dead person to return to the world? Time travel. Hey, Apollo, did you ever see that episode of Doctor Who? Oh, I know. There is a way for the dead to return. Spirit channeling. Of course, you'd have to know what the founder looks like first. But the orb has revealed her face to us, so what if it's a sign that we should channel her? Given the facts, in order to solve the riddle and see the founder's power, I need to practice channeling. A medium is needed to obtain the power. The ability of a medium to channel spirits is the final key to unlocking the orb's secret. That means Mr. Addison Wimperson's patron will need one too. And once that slimy politician realizes that, he won't be able to lay a finger on Miss Faye. And we won't tell him anything about the fact that Pearly Faye can also do it.
Listen, Maya's practiced now. She supposedly has a 100% success rate now. Supposedly.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter. You can just try it a couple times. Everything's going to be okay, Mr. Wright. Because Mr. Paul Addison Whipperson can't afford to harm a hair on Miss Faye's head.
You can't what?
Mr. Addison Wimperson, it seems you've chosen the wrong person to take hostage.
What do you mean? I haven't been doing anything like that.
Your patron seeks to solve the orb's riddle, and thereby receives great spiritual power. However, only Maya Faye can truly give them what they really want.
She can?
She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can? She can?
What do you mean, only my affair?
Think about what the return of the Founder really means. We should have considered it more literally. After all, the orb was made in the kingdom of Kurain, the birthplace of spirit mediums.
Ah, I think I see now. You need to know what the deceased looks like in order to channel them. But in Koreanism, depicting the face of the Founder is taboo. However, her true face was hidden in the orb. Maybe the orb is telling us to try channeling the Founder.
Exactly. Through a spirit medium, the Founder can literally quite return.
Literally quite.
And if the legend is
Good
true,
to drive I am!
the Founder just might bestow spiritual power on someone when she does. No,
like
don't say that line, Phoenix.
It's like when Pearls imbued my Magatama with spiritual power. Human could be imbued with such power in a similar manner. It is said the Founder possesses immense spiritual power. Such a great feat would not necessarily be beyond her. Wait a second, that the legend is true?
The Legend 27?
Do you understand now, Mr. Addison Wimperson?
Was that the bite of 87?
You are holding hostage the final key to unlocking the orb's secret. And if anything were to happen to her, the riddle will remain unsolved forever. How darn! Well, okay, we won't kill her. We'll just, like, torture her. You don't want that to happen, do you? We'll start with her fingers. Shit. I mean, right?
I mean, I wouldn't, in that position, I don't think I would risk it. There's always Pearl Faye. I could simply ask her to help.
Shit.
If she wants money, I have plenty to offer.
She's not the kind of person to be tempted by material gain. Ooh, we'll kidnap her next. And she certainly wouldn't help you if anything were to happen to her cousin.
Wait, are they not sisters?
No, they're not sisters. They're cousins.
Oh.
Yeah, no. Cousins.
Ugh.
Or maybe you'd like to go ask the Queen of Kurain to channel the Founder for you.
He could, but he'd probably get executed for requesting such a thing.
It's over. Now confess. You killed Dr. Buff, didn't you?
It wasn't supposed to end this way.
Mr. Addison Wimperson, are you admitting to committing the crime and also that you kidnapped someone and also that you're a piece of shit?
Not that last one, what the fuck? You're my lawyer, right? Do something! It's true that I'm your lawyer, and as such, it's my job to defend you. However, defending my client is the only duty a lawyer has. There's something else that's equally as important. That is finding the truth. What? Mr. Addison Wimperson, you have sought to twist the truth in the dirtiest of ways. I was complicit in your hostage-taking, but in a way I was being held hostage too. You are what, Mr. Wright? Even so, there's still hope for me to make things right. I owe it all to you, Apollo.
Mr. Wright.
I can't allow a murderer to walk away scot-free. Therefore, Mr. Addison Wimperson, I must resign as your attorney. No, 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 no! Does this mean I'm under arrest? No!
Is he about to make a I'm gonna preface? I'm gonna pre.
Huh. I've already preed.
Well,
I've nothing to confess.
what?
I said I've nothing to confess. I don't and I won't, especially not to a plebeian like you.
This guy doesn't know when to give up.
Besides, there's no truth to these allegations. I mean, look at the suitcase. You won't find a single print of mine on it.
All that means is you wipe them off, taking care to only leave Mr. Arables.
As many a great politician has said before me, no comment. In that case, try switching things up, Apollo. Look at the situation from a different angle.
You can just solve the... I guess you're
No, I
not an
can't.
attorney. Okay.
Is there really nothing that points to the suitcase being dropped from up above?
Huh. Evidence that points to the suitcase being dropped from the second floor, huh?
The killer pushed the suitcase from the second floor hallway over the coffee bar. That would place him right around here.
Ah, maybe. Just maybe.
Thought of something, Apollo?
I believe this piece of evidence may be connected to the dropping of the suitcase. The photo of my father. Do we have the suitcase?
You do not.
Okay, that's it. Someone was pushing a wheelchair. I mean, I guess this. Right?
What do you think about it?
Well, she had to be pushed out of the way. Wait, what if he was trying to push her over?
Well, I think he would have succeeded if that's what he was trying to do.
Yeah, but she woke up.
But at the very least, someone pushed her suitcase. I mean, someone pushed her wheelchair.
Yeah.
That appears to be a statement. How's that related to this case? It also hasn't been verified. You can't just present that. It has to go through a lot of, like, hoops. Okay, fuck me, I guess.
On the night of the murder, Your Honor, Miss Army Buff physically left her room. That's when she saw the doctor burning the orb and subsequently passed out, right above the coffee bar. But with her there in the wheelchair, the killer wouldn't have been able to drop the suitcase down on the doctor.
Good point.
However, according to Sarge, she woke up just as someone was trying to move her in her wheelchair.
Ah.
Someone was pushing my wheelchair.
What?
I was so scared to beat a hasty retreat, as fast as my wheels could take me.
She must have been in the killer's way and had to be moved. Isn't that right, Mr. Addison Wimperson?
Arrgh. And if the killer had pushed the wheelchair with his bare hands, we may yet find the conclusive evidence we need.
Or he was wearing gloves. Exactly. Fortunate for us, that evidence slipped right through the killer's fingies. If only he'd been able to hold on to it for just a little bit longer and a little bit tighter. I bet he hears that a lot. But now he is neither able to discard nor alter it.
Honestly, that piece of evidence wasn't even supposed to be here in this courtroom today. And yet, looks like sometimes things do get better. This wasn't supposed to happen.
That sucks. Too bad. The evidence that sped away from you that night has come back to haunt you. Right here at this very trial. Your Honor, the defense's final piece of evidence is this person, Trucy Wright. No. Hi.
My brother who shits himself. That's...
On the night of the murder, Sarge passed out, only to come to try and find that person was pushing her wheelchair. That's when she fled back into her room.
She didn't physically see a single soul after that. Oh, that's still me. Not until Athena drew her out through that therapy session that...
Okay.
Yeah,
let me just do a nice save.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd have to redo the whole fucking thing.
Oh my god. Do like a save state too.
Not until Athena drew out through the therapy session, that is. While the killer was able to wipe the prints on the suitcase.
I read the line.
Yeah, I had to read the line because I skipped one. Same can't be said for the prints that got away. I also read your line by accident.
Oh, you skipped one, and then it was my line that I read. Okay.
Yes, yes.
I'm not getting audio anymore.
Well, that's weird. How about now?
Thank you, Allie. Ross, I said I wasn't getting audio anymore, and she went, "Here, I'll help." So that's pretty helpful.
Did it help?
That was, yeah, good point. Okay, yeah, I got the audio now.
Yeah, see, Allie did it.
That's true. Yes, those motherfuckers still here. My fellow Karanians.
Well, Mr. Paul Addison Wimperson, PAW, prisoner of Wumbo. Try to explain your way out of this one! The podium's all yours. The placard, unfortunately, isn't. Belonged to your father.
Paul Addison, savior of Karain. I am not a crook. My political career, it can end like this. I'm destined for great things. Something's
he's about
wrong.
to
This
pray.
isn't real. It's a dream. No, a nightmare. Oh. Huh? Am I gonna get Danganronpa executed? What? Wait. Ah! Whoa, no way! Banzai! Banzai! Banzai!
This is amazing.
Banzai. Wait, what?
Oh, that's the preface right there.
No, please. Wait! Don't go! No, no, please. Whoa! Grandpa!
Well, that was magical. That doesn't even make any sense.
He like hallucinated all that.
No, just the fact that the fucking placard just snapped into like a million pieces. It's taped together.
Mr. Addison Wimperson, are you alright? Bailiff, get into the first aid station on the double.
Yes, sir. Say, I'm not the other guy. I'm different.
Well, that was yet another unexpected turn of events. In light of everything that's been revealed, it seems that the relic is indeed the Founder's Orb. And it seems Mr. Paul Addison Wimperson can be considered a suspect in Dr. Buff's murder. Blip.
Apollo, I want to thank you for everything. Thanks to you, I didn't have to keep bending the truth.
Oh, and I guess we got Maya back too, I guess.
I don't know what I would have done without you.
Well, don't mention it.
You were amazing today, Apollo.
Well, I couldn't have done it without Dirk.
A dragon never yields.
Dragon Eater.
Even when wounded, a dragon bites down hard and never lets go till its dying breath. It glares, it roars, and it latches its jaws firmly onto its prey till the bitter end.
Hey, do you think that's like what the Thunder Dragon was?
Sorry. I said before that Discord will like boot me out of the screen share sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Let me show you the thumbnail it decided to generate for the stream.
Nice. Is it Paul falling into the void? That's good.
Anyways, that's what lawyers do to get to the truth.
Why did I full screen? I'm not watching the screen share. There we go. A dragon never yields. Every lawyer should take that to heart.
As it seems both sides have no further objections, would Dirk Sadmati please take the stand? Wait a minute, Sadmati. This court finds the orb of the Divine Dragons per the stated transfer agreement. Guilty of being the orb's holder. Should the Kingdom of Kurain claim ownership, the matter may have been deliberated in court all over again. I just hope, or shall I pray, that I'm not the judge presiding over that one.
Indeed, a trial like that might spark an international incident. Still, there are bigger and more momentous things astir in the air.
The revolution. Dirk's really serious about this.
Well, this court's adjourned. Have fun causing a revolution. I had no part in this.
May 17th. I won.
Nice work, son. We've finally broken through the last obstacle on the road to revolution.
Revolution? Just doesn't seem real.
Yes, well, to think you actually defeated the Fighting Phoenix, all I can say is, that's my boy. My boy.
Well, Mr. Wright did have his hands tied. Who knows if I'd have won if he had been able to fight me head on.
I see it more like you saved Mr. Wright.
Saved him.
Yeah, remember what he said? He didn't have to bend the truth anymore, and it was all thanks to you.
I don't know about that. Still, I guess it is kind of nice to be appreciated.
Mr. Dirk? Now that the Holy Mother's face has been revealed, are you gonna have a spirit medium try channeling her? I, for one, would love to see the return of the legendary founder.
That I just met, like, yesterday. Yeah, just think about it. Being able to speak to someone right out of the history books.
Unfortunately, it's not that easy.
What? Why?
A face isn't enough. You also need the true name of the one you're attempting to channel.
Oh, right. Pearl mentioned something like that.
And the founder's true name is only known to the priestess who's been crowned queen. In short, the only living person who knows it is the current queen of Kareen, Garan.
No, so without her help, we won't be seeing the founder anytime soon, will we?
That's no fun.
So, Dirk, what will we do now?
First, I'll start by tracing the route by which the orb came into Dr. Buff's hands.
Since we now know it was Paul Addison that asked the doctor to study it, isn't he the one who stole it?
No, a political nobody like him couldn't get anywhere near the orb, let alone steal it. He must have had inside help. My money is on someone connected to the royal.
Oh, right. You said something to that effect back in the cave.
Whoever it may be, we need to expose their dirty scheme to the light of day.
No, I'm sure Mr. Red has plenty of information courtesy of his dirty client. He might be able to shed some light on this.
Private Justice.
That was fine work you did at the trial today. You did your sergeant proud.
Back at you, Sarge. Took real courage to leave your room like that.
It's all thanks to you and Corpsewoman Sykes. With my siege defense over, I can finally sally forth.
But the oil battle's just begun. One for me and me alone to fight.
To lose your mother and then your father, what a terrible thing to endure.
Yeah, being wheelchair-bound doesn't, help.
Private Justice? I've been thinking. It's about time I stood on my own 2 feet. After all, I no longer have Papa to coddle me.
Huh? I'm afraid I don't follow.
Take a good look, soldier. This is one small step for man, and one giant leap for me. Hold my drone for me, will you please, Private Justice?
Yes, sir. What is she up to?
Well, oh.
She's standing.
What's this? Sarge, you mean your legs, they're...
The doctor told me I was ready to walk again months ago. But if I admitted I could walk, I knew I'd have to leave the house. So I faked it.
Makes sense, but...
I kept pretending I couldn't walk. But I know Papa's watching over me now, and I'd hate to disappoint him. So from this day forth, I'm going to march forward on my own 2 feet.
What a brave kid trying to move forward like this. Her life is going to be hell from now on. Like, no... She has to go through the fucking... adoption bullshit. Not even adoption bullshit, just like...
I mean,
housing,
all of it. Yeah.
All of it. But it must be so hard this soon after her father's death. Hopefully she has, like, some family somewhere. Aunts or uncles. That would make it a lot easier.
I hope so. Don't you ever stop. You just keep on walking, comrade. Stay brave, because there will be days when you'll want to stop. But I have faith you'll find a way to muster the strength to push through them.
Yeah, you can do it.
Hey, Daddy's back.
Boy, he looks sad. Mr. Wright? What's that look on his face for? He acts like someone who he knew and loved got kidnapped or something.
Oh, Apollo, actually, do you want to take Phoenix back over now that we're out of the courtroom?
Yeah, I guess that's fine. Hey, is everything alright with Miss Faye? She's safe, for now.
Well then, we better go save her, quick. Where is she, anyway?
I'm afraid I have some bad news. Huh? Maya's, not here in the States. She's still in Korean. And she's still being held hostage by the mastermind behind this whole thing. The mastermind? Is he being controlled by a monkey? That's right. Paul Addison Wimperson was nothing more than a pawn. Maya's true abductor is in the kingdom of Korean. What? I don't understand, Mr. Wright. What in the world's going on over there? But as shocking as that news was, it was only the beginning. The beginning of something big. Big enough to shake Korean to its very core. They really could have just made this chapter 6. What the...
Yes, yes.
What is wrong with that? Why? Whatever. Revolution. I was being swept up in a mighty wave that nothing could stop. Of course, at the time, I had no idea what the days ahead had in store for us. To be continued. Continued?
Game.
Next time on Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah.
Investigation Day 2. What are we investigating? We'll have to find out next time. Load the state.
You wanna... you're not gonna check the start of it?
I guess we can take a peek if there's like a intro cinematic.
I don't remember how this one starts, honestly. Oh, we're just still here. Okay.
I don't want to
Well,
stare
that's
at Phoenix's ugly mug. We'll figure out what he has to say next time.
Hey, ugly mug. Come on.
That's a face only Edgeworth could love.
Wow.
Nah, he's fine.